Okay, let's just talk about the setup and the validation. In the video, I'm showing you a link here on my desktop. You may be getting the link from email I send you, or you're running the setup from CD. But this is just a setup uh, from my desktop. You double click, and of course, you're going to answer the questions like this will impact your hard drive. You got to say yes. And what I'm doing a setup on is on a partial. It's only doing the main program. If you're doing a setup for the full program, then it's a little more longer to take because it's going to impact a bunch of files. But in this case, only affecting one file. This box will come up. Information just tells you, if the help files are loaded. You could actually link over here to help files and so on. Just read through and just follow the instructions. This particular case, if you're running the setup for the first time, you definitely want to restart your computer. But in many cases, when you're just running a partial setup, or if I tell you you don't need to run a reboot, you can go ahead and do that. Now, normally when you run the setup for the first time, you may have to do the reboot as I mentioned, and then when you bring up your computer again, you'll find the an icon for the National Hockey League. Double click and the program will run. Now, in this particular case, the program will. Okay, once the setup is complete, the program will launch, and normally for the first time, it'll launch and it'll come up with an error, and it's going to give you 5-digit code, just like here. Of course, each time you run a program, it's unique, so I won't even know what it is other than it'll start with a 10. You send it back to me, and then I'll send you information on how to do the validation. When you run the validation, you come under administration, license verification, manual validation, and essentially this validation box will come up. Those 5 digits will appear here. You'll put your last name in. I'll give you the access code and security code. You hit go. Program will validate, and then it'll exit the program. And the next time you come in, you'll be validated, similar to what you're seeing here with your name, and then you'll be validated. Okay, so that's really it for running the setup and validating.